People like show. People, they smile when they are low.
Even with a turkey that you know will fold,
you may be stranded out in the cold.
Still you wouldn't trade it for a sack of gold.
Let's go on with the show.
Let's go
on with the show.
Hi, I'm Sharon.
The doll.
And these are my guys.
Well, hello.
That song was written by Irving Berlin, and in 1946, it was the hottest ticket in town.
And speaking of heat.
Yeah, heat. I don't know about you guys. Have you ever been concerned about this whole global warming thing?
Yeah.
Well, not me until today, when I tried to straighten my hair. Now I am worried. We're having a heat wave.
Having a heat wave.
A tropical heat wave.
Tropical heat wave.
The way that they move, the thermometer proves that they certainly can.
Can.
They certainly can.
Can. It's too darn hot.
Do you hear that snoring? How obnoxious. Well, when was it, like last week? We heard someone snoring in our audience, right? And I told Bill, cut it out, cut it. I looked out in the audience and I saw that man that was snoring. And I said to the woman sitting next to him, "Ma'am, please, wake up your husband and tell him to stop snoring." She said, "Why should I wake him up? You put him to sleep."
Well, in 1934, Rodgers and Hart made sure no one would be sleeping during this hit from Babes in Arms.
Johnny could only sing one note, and the note he sang was this. Poor Johnny, one note, sang out with gusto and just overlorded the place.
Poor Johnny, one note, yelled willy-nilly until he was blue in the face.
For holding one note was my ace.
Sing Johnny, one note.
Sing Johnny, one note.
Sing
Johnny, one note out loud. Gee, that song, it reminds me of when I was 22 years old. I went up to the stage door at Radio City Music Hall without an appointment, and I said to Mac, the stage manager, "I'm here to see the conductor." And he took me into the elevator and up to the 4th floor and into the conductor's office. And I sang People, a cappella from Funny Girl. Next thing I knew, I was in rehearsal for 4 shows a day, 7 days a week. With one person, one very special person, a feeling deep in your soul says you are half, now you're whole. No more hunger and thirst, but first be a person who needs people.
And there was music, and there were wonderful roses. They tell me in sweet, fragrant meadows of dawn and dew. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing. No, I never heard it at all till there was you.
Hello. Hi, how you doing?
Isn't he cute?
Yes. Go on. Well, we just want to thank you so much for coming out here to be with us tonight. And we are ready to have some fun and kick it up a notch. So without further ado, Maestro, please. What good? is sitting alone in your room. Come hear the music play. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret.
Come taste the wine. Come hear the band. Come blow your horn. Start celebrating. Right this way, your table's waiting.
Start by admitting from cradle to tomb, isn't that long a stay? Life is a cabaret, old chum. Only a cabaret, old chum. So come to the cabaret.
Thank you. Yes, life. Boy, we know life is a cabaret. It's at Canderneb in 1966, but more than a cabaret, it is a journey that twists and turns along its bumpy road.
And Broadway's taken us right along for the ride, wrapped up in some of the most gorgeous songs ever written by
Rodgers and Hammerstein,
Oh, Jerome Kern,
Stephen Sondheim,
Lerner and Lowe,
oh, Leonard Bernstein,
Frank Lesser,
Andrew Lloyd Webber, and Tim Rice.
and don't forget Sherry Hermanson.
Or Dorothy Fields and Cy Coleman.
and
Right.
Rogers and Hart.
Oh, we could just go on and on.
But we won't.
So join us as we take you on a quick journey through life
With a few detours.
as told through the art of the Broadway song.
So let us entertain you, and you'll have a real good time, yes sir. We'll all have a real good time. Come along and listen to the lullaby of Broadway, the parade and ballyhoo. The lullaby of Broadway, the rumble of the subway train, the rattle of the taxis, the daffodils who entertain, and Angelo's and Maxie's when the Broadway baby says goodnight. It's early in the morning, Manhattan babies don't sleep tight until the dawn. Good night, baby. Good night. Milkman's on his way. Sleep tight, baby. Sleep tight. Let's call it a day. Listen to the lullaby of old Broadway.
That song was used in the 1980 stage adaptation of 42nd Street, but it was originally written for the Gold Diggers of 1935. No, I don't think so. Life was certainly simpler then. There were no computers and there was no Facebook and there were no smartphones. God, it is an addiction. And these kids, they start so young, and instead of mama or dada, their first words are now,
Hey, Siri.
Well, then I guess we know now where to start our journey.
Let's start at the very beginning.
a very good place to start.
When you read, you begin with
A, B, C. When you sing, you begin with do, re, mi. Do, re, mi. Do, re, mi. The first three notes just happen to be do, re, mi. Do, re, mi. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti.
Wait a minute. I think they all know this next part.
I hope so.
Please join us. Do, a deer, a female deer. Ray, a drop of golden sun. Me, a name I call myself. Fa, a long, long way to run. So, a needle pulling thread. La, a note to follow. So, tea, a drink with jam and bread. That will bring us back to dough. That will bring us back to one of the best known songs of childhood. You know, Sharon, I was singing that long before I knew it came from The Sound of Music. Hey, you remember when that used to just come on once a year? You know, before Netflix?
There was a before Netflix?
Okay.
Well, I also grew up on the classics like The Sound of Music, and these classics are what got me hooked on theater to begin with. This next classic is from a 1939 movie. Not a show, but, you know, it just fit too perfectly to leave out.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Join us, please. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I?
Beautiful. When I'm stuck with a day that's gray and lonely, I just stick out my chin and grin and say, oh, the sun will come out tomorrow, so you gotta hang on till tomorrow. Come what may, tomorrow, tomorrow, I love ya, tomorrow, you're only a day away.
Well, Little Orphan Annie, isn't that who
Yes,
she
Little
sang that song, right? She certainly had some hard knocks, doors slammed in her face. But in the cabaret of life, she did teach us something very important. That when one door closes, another one opens. It's only hell in the hallways.
You'll get used to those jokes, folks. They'll just pepper our way through the evening. So along with songs sung by children, there are some wonderful songs for the parents about their children, or in Billy Bigelow's case, his dream of a child, a son, in the beautiful soliloquy from Carousel.
My boy Bill, I will see that he's named after me. I will. My boy Bill, he'll be tall and as tough as a tree. Will Bill, like a tree he'll grow with his head held high and his feet planted firm on the ground. And you won't see nobody dare to try to boss him or toss him around. No pot-bellied, baggy-eyed bully will boss him around.
But then, Zach, dreams give way to reality.
Kids!
I don't know what's wrong with these kids today.
Kids who can understand anything they say. Kids!
They are disobedient, disrespectful oafs.
Noisy, crazy.
Sloppy, lazy loafers.
And while we're on the subject, kids, you can talk and talk till your face is blue. Kids!
But they still do just what they want to do.
Why can't they be like we were?
Perfect in every way?
You got it. What's the matter with kids today?
So a Jewish boy comes home from school one day. Yeah, yay! A Jewish boy came home from school one day, and he told his mother he got a part in the play. And she says, "What part do you play?" He says, "I play the part of the Jewish husband." She scowls and says, "Go back and tell them you want a speaking part." My Yiddish mama, I need her more. We did cut it, sorry. Okay, sorry. Well, kids are great usually. But we know it's all about the grandkids. You know how annoying certain grandparents are when they can't stop extolling the virtues of their perfectly wonderful grandchildren. Well, this lullaby from 1954's Peter Pan is dedicated to my perfectly wonderful grandchildren. Jax Harrison Siscone and Brody Gabriel Siscone. Did you count? It is. It's almost every letter of the alphabet. In fact, I think it was last week they were a puzzle on the Wheel of Fortune. I am so proud of those boys. I'm kvelling. Tender shepherd watches over all his sheep. One, say a prayer, and two, close your eyes, and three, safe and happily fall asleep. Tender shepherd, you forgot to count your sheep. One in the meadow, two in the garden, three in the nursery. That's your sheep.
One in the nursery,
fast
two in the garden, three in the nursery, fall asleep. Fall asleep. That's an interesting phrase, isn't it? I wonder where that came from.
What about falling in love? That's an interesting expression as well.
Oh, everything about love is interesting, Zach. The most complex of human experiences.
And the next stop on our journey.
Well, everyone loves a love story.
And everyone, it seems, has written about love. Well, Broadway's no exception. Just think of all the songs.
Falling in love with love is falling for make-believe.
We could make believe I love you.
Where is love?
I've never been in love before.
I love you, a bushel and a peck.
Can you feel the love tonight?
Calm down. It's enough time. Fabulous. Can you think of any others? Well, very. What was that? Say it again. A gazillion. Okay, a gazillion. Oh, so did we. And when finding songs to sing about love, we had another issue.
Yeah, all the different stages of love, or as Andrew Lloyd Webber called them, aspects of love.
For example, before you actually fall in love, you can dream of what love might look like or how you might know when it happens.
For I've imagined every bit of him, from his strong moral fiber to the wisdom in his head, to the homey aroma of his pipe.
You have wished yourself a Scarsdale Galahad, a breakfast-eating Brooks Brothers type.
Yes, and I shall meet him when the time is right.
Oh, you've got the guy all figured out, huh?
Yes, all figured out. When my love comes along, I won't take a chance. I know he'll be just what I need, not some fly-by-night Broadway romance.
And you'll know at a glance by the two pair of pants.
I'll know by his calm, steady voice, those feet on the ground. Run to his arms that at last I've come home safe and sound. Until then, I shall wait. Until then, I'll be strong. Yes, I'll know when my love comes along.
Longing to tell you, but afraid and shy, I'd let my golden chances pass me by. Soon you'd leave me, off you would go in the midst of day. If I loved you.
Beautiful, Zach. Beautiful.
What a day this has been. What a rare mood I'm in. Why, it's almost like being in love. There's a smile on my face for the whole human race. Why, it's almost like being in love. All the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal, I could swear I was falling. I could swear I was falling. It's almost like being in love. Now that was Lerner and Lowe in 1947 from Brigadoon. And there was a few years later when another famous pair, Rodgers and Hammerstein, serenaded us to hold on tight when you finally do find love. Once you have found her, never let her go.
Please join us.
Some enchanted evening.
Some enchanted evening, you may see a stranger. You may see a stranger
Across a crowded room. Somehow you know.
And somehow you know.
Even then.
You know even then.
Somehow you'll see her.
That someone will see him again and again. Some enchanted evening, you may hear him laughing. You may hear him laughing across a crowded room. And night after night, as strange as it seems, the sound of his laughter will sing in your dreams. Who can explain it? Who can tell you why? Fools give you reasons, wise men never try. Some enchanted evening, when you find your true love, when you hear him call you across a crowded room, then fly to his side and make him your own. Or all through your life you may dream all alone. Once you have found him, never let him go. Once you have found him, never let him go. Thank you.
Yeah, but Frank, how do you know when you've actually really found love?
Well, Zach, you feel like the whole world is spinning and you just can't get her name out of your head.
The most beautiful sound I ever heard. Maria, 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 Maria. All the sounds of the world in a single word. Maria, 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 Maria. Maria, Maria, Maria. I just met a girl named Maria, and And suddenly that name will never be the same to me. Maria, I just kissed a girl named Maria, and suddenly I found how wonderful a sound can be. Maria, say it loud and there's music playing. Say it soft and it's almost like praying. Maria, I'll never stop saying Maria. Stop saying Maria. The most beautiful sound I ever heard. Maria. Sharon, would you care to dance?
How could I say no?
So nice, huh? I don't know about you folks, but in my case, love always made me want to just get up and dance.
Okay.
I'll never know what made it so exciting when all at once my heart took flight. I only know when she began to dance with me, I could have danced all night.
Well, it's obvious I love to dance. In fact, I danced across the ice at Madison Square Garden in front of 30,000 people. You see, I was on schedule to sing our national anthem at the Rangers game, and my husband said I was showing off, which I probably was. So I wasn't paying attention when my heel, it went off the runner onto the ice, and I went down. But it was after the high note. And I loved those hot, sweet Rangers. They all skated over to help me up. And to top it all off, I made it onto TV.
Yeah, Warner Wolf's bloopers.
True, but you got to do what you got to do in show business, Frank.
Yep.
You know that.
I do.
Ask me, how do I feel? Ask me now that we're cozy and clinging. Well, sir, all I can say is if I were a bell, I'd be ringing. And if I were a watch, I'd start popping my spring. And if I were a bell, I'd go ding dong, ding dong, ding.
And oh, the towering feeling just to know somehow you are near. The overpowering feeling that any second you may suddenly appear. People stop and stare, they don't bother me, for there's nowhere else on earth that I would rather be. Let the time go by, I won't care if I can be here on the street where you live.
Zach, in 1962, Lerner and Lowe's My Fair Lady, it had set the record for the longest running Broadway show. And you might have even seen it, for a mere $4.90 to sit in the orchestra.
Or $2.30 for the balcony.
Oh, and for that hefty sum. You know, you got a leading man who really couldn't sing. But boy, could Rex Harrison communicate.
And a 21-year-old Julie Andrews cast in the role of a lifetime.
Right. What an odd relationship that was. Henry Higgins, he never really fell for Eliza Doolittle. He was too obsessed trying to transform her to his standards. And he was so reserved and controlled, just like a Brit. Mm-hmm. Here in America, we would have expressed that a bit differently. Dear, when you smiled at me, I heard a melody. It haunted me from the start. Something inside of me started a symphony. Sing went the strings of my heart. 'Twas like a breath of spring. I heard a robin sing about a nest set apart. All nature seemed to be in perfect harmony. Sing went the strings of my heart. Your eyes made sky seem blue again. What else can I do again but keep repeating through and through? I love you, love you. I still recall the thrill. I guess I always will. I hope you'll never depart. Dear, with your lips to mine, a rhapsody divine. Sing with the strings of my heart.
Now, you may know that as a Judy Garland song, but it was actually written for the 1934 review, Thumbs Up.
Who would have ever thought that'd be our official presidential greeting?
And who in 1934 could have imagined today's debate on love? Mm-hmm. Well, here's our new take on a Rodgers and Hammerstein classic.
I'm as horny as soldiers on Fleet Week.
Legally on marijuana I fly. We are just two of the many who do fall in love. Yes, in love.
Call it love.
Really love.
We're in love with a wonderful guy.
Okay. Hey guys, I'm feeling a bit left out here.
Come on.
Oh, Sharon, you got your homage to femininity by none other than Bernstein and Sondheim.
Thank you. I feel pretty, oh so pretty. I feel pretty and witty and bright, and I pity any girl who's into me tonight.
La 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 la.
I feel charming, oh so charming. It's alarming how charming I feel, and so pretty that I hardly can believe I'm real.
La 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 la.
See the pretty girl in that mirror there.
What mirror? Where?
Who can that attractive girl be?
Which one? Where? Who?
Such a pretty face,
Who?
such a pretty dress, such a pretty smile, such a pretty me. I feel stunning.
I feel stunning.
And entrancing. Feel like running.
Feel like running and dancing for joy.
I'm loved by two pretty, wonderful guys.
How does that song fit with love, you ask? Well, there is such a thing called self-love.
All the rage these days.
Love will always be around, Zach, no matter the technology.
That's true. And, Sharon, it can take on many forms and lead you many places. Like right
Oh.
down the aisle.
I've done this before.
I'm getting married in the morning. Ding dong, the bells are gonna chime. Girls, come and kiss me. Show how you miss me. But get me to the church. Get me to the church. For God's sakes, get me to the church on time.
And at the church or synagogue. Yes, Frank, woo! And at the church, or synagogue, or mosque, or country club, you have the most sacred part of the service, the vows. Make of our hands one
is one life, day after day, one life. Now it begins, now we start. One hand, one heart. Even death won't part us now.
And you also have the parents. Is this the little girl I carried? Is this the little boy at play?
I don't remember growing older. When did they?
When did she get to be a beauty? When did he grow to be so tall? Wasn't it yesterday when they were small?
Please join us.
Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly flow the days. Seedlings turn overnight to sunflowers, blossoming even as we gaze. Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly fly the years, one season following another, laden with happiness and tears.
I just love weddings.
You okay, Frank?
I just get so choked
I don't know if you
up.
should do.
I love to cry at weddings. How I love to cry at weddings. I walk into a chapel and get heavily hysterical. The ushers and attendants, the family dependents. I see them and I start to sniff. Have you an extra handkerchief? And all through the service, while the bride and groom are nervous, tears of joy are streaming down my face. I love to cry at weddings. Anybody's wedding, anytime, anywhere, any place.
Well, weddings are so much fun, all the music and the dancing.
Yes, and every so often you see a couple on the dance floor so graceful and effortless. Well, you know they've been doing that for a long time.
Right, just like Fred and Ginger. Remember Ginger Rogers? She did everything Fred Astaire did, only backwards and in heels.
But weddings end. Then comes the tricky part.
Love and marriage go together like a horse and carriage. This I tell ya, brother, you can't have one without the other.
Love and marriage, it's an institute you can't disparage. Ask the local gentry, and they will say it's elementary.
Try to separate them. It's an illusion. Try, and you will only come to this conclusion.
Love and marriage go together like a horse and carriage. Dad was told by mother,
You can't have one.
You can't have none. You can't have one without the other. Frank Sinatra, he introduced that song in 1955 in a TV adaptation of the play Our Town. No, it isn't a Broadway song, but it's a great one nevertheless.
Well, here is a Broadway song that beautifully expresses the care and tenderness of a new marriage by David Shire and Richard Maltby Jr.
Starting here, starting now, when we walk together year by year. Starting here, starting now, when we talk, we will say the most with silence when we're near. Starting here, now when you sleep, you will dream a dream that's free from care. For now, when you wake, I'll be there. So be still, take my hand, for the greatest journey heaven can allow. Starting love, starting here, starting now.
Such a tender and loving song, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely, Zach. But it's important to also keep it light sometimes, right, Sharon?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes. I love you, a bushel and a peck, a bushel and a peck, and a hug around the neck, a hug around the neck, and a barrel and a heap, 'cause I'm talking in my sleep about you. About you.
My heart is leaping. I'm having trouble sleeping.
'Cause I love you, a bushel and a peck. You bet your pretty neck I do.
Doodle-doodle-doodle, doodle-doodle-doodle, doodle-doodle-doodle-doo. You know, being silly together lets your guard down a bit and can really let the love in. And that love can be a beacon to guide us, especially in darker times, from Phantom.
No more talk of darkness. Forget these wide-eyed fears. I'm here. Nothing can harm you. My words will warm and calm you. Let me be your freedom. Let daylight dry your tears. I'm here with you, beside you, to guard you and to guide you.
All I ask is every waking moment, plan my head with talk of summertime. Say you need me with you now and always. Promise me that all you say is true. That's all I ask of you.
Let me be your shelter. Let me be your light. You're safe. No one will find you. Your fears are far behind you.
All I want is freedom. A world with no more night. And you always beside me to hold me and to hide me.
Then say you'll share with me one love, one lifetime. Let me lead you from your solitude. Say you need me with you here, beside you.
That's all I ask of you.
So that's how it starts. Now let's fast forward about 25 years or so.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
I can drink my liquor faster than a flicker.
I can do it quicker and get even sicker.
I can live on bread and cheese.
And only on that.
Yes.
So can a rat. Anything you can sing, I can sing higher. I can sing anything higher than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
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 Well, I guess she can. So let's take a quick poll. How many out there are married? Or have ever been married, or been with someone so long you just consider yourself married for at least like 25 years?
35,
45?
50, going once, twice, 50 or
50s?
more. Anybody?
Well, then you know of the, how shall I say, challenges that come from living with the same person year after year after year. It's the little things you do together that make perfect relationships. The hobbies you pursue together, savings you accrue together, looks you misconstrue together, that make marriage a joy.
So I once gave my husband the silent treatment for an entire week, at the end of which he declared, "Hey, honey, we're getting along pretty well lately."
So I asked a good friend of mine the secret to a great marriage, and he said we never go to sleep angry. I said, that's a good philosophy. And he said, yeah, the longest we've been awake so far is 5 days.
Do you know why it takes 100 million sperm to fertilize one egg? Because not one will stop and ask for directions.
It's concerts you enjoy together, neighbors you annoy together, children you destroy together that make marriage a joy. It's things like using force together, shouting till you're hoarse together,
Getting a divorce together that make perfect relationships.
In company, Sondheim shared a unique way of looking at marriage.
Yes, Zach, but when people separate, there's always an opportunity for reflection. What kind of fool am I who never fell in love? It seems that I'm the only one that I have been thinking of. What kind of man is this? An empty shell, a lonely cell in which an empty heart must dwell. What kind of lips are these that lied with every kiss, that whispered empty words of love that left me alone like this? Why can't I fall in love like any other man? And maybe then I'll know what kind of fool I am. What kind of clown am I? What do I know of life? Why can't I cast away this mask of play and live my life? Why can't I fall in love till I don't give a damn? And maybe then I'll know what kind of fool I am.
Yeah, but Frank, it's all part of the game. You gotta get back out there.
You know, it's not a bad idea.
Standing on the corner, watching all the girls go by. Standing on the corner, watching all the girls go by.
Brother, you don't know what class, or occupation.
Matter of fact, neither do I. Then standing on the corner, watching all the girls, watching all the girls, watching all the girls go by.
Pretty good, huh? Look, all you want, gentlemen. Today, women, we are empowered. Woo! Woo! Right. Thank you, Zach. It reminds me of a woman I know. She was having surgery after suffering a heart attack. And she says to God, if I survive this, how long do I have to live? And he says, oh, at least 40 years. So after she recuperates, she has a tummy tuck and a facelift and a few other minor improvements. 2 weeks later, she's crossing the street, is hit by a car, and is killed. And when she gets to heaven, she says to God, you told me I had 40 years. To which God replied, I am so sorry I didn't recognize you. Well, my friend Adele, she also had a few minor improvements, but she not only looked different, she was different. Everyone's noticed the change in me, the heartening, startling change in me. No longer depressed, I'm looking my best and totally in control. Though grim and obsessively sad was I, and never organically glad was I. Now life is the berries and cherries invaded my bowl. Harvey and the children are relieved. My girlfriends say I'm not to be believed. And my secret isn't diet, drugs, or pills. I've simply found a new routine to banish all my ills. In the morning, my brandy in the evening, and Arthur in the afternoon. I don't have any gray days since I've my matinee days with Arthur in the afternoon. He has a small apartment in the center of town. I hardly say it was posh, but I gun my Audi and I hurry on down to hear the banisters squeak and the waterbed slosh. So you can have your shrink, dear, and work out every kink, dear. But this kid's it's in turn because she's got Arthur. I recommend Arthur. He's listed as Arthur. That animal, Arthur. I gotta have Arthur in the afternoon. Put him on your speed dial.
A bit of cynicism and whimsy, yes. But we all know when it works well, love grows stronger with each passing year. And you couldn't even imagine not being together.
If ever I would leave you, it wouldn't be in summer. Seeing you in summer, I never would go. Your hair streaked with sunlight, your lips red as flame, your face with a luster that puts gold to shame.
But if I'd ever leave you, it wouldn't be in autumn. How I'd leave in autumn, I never will know. I've seen how you sparkle when fall nips the air. I know you in autumn, and I must be there.
Or could I leave you running merrily through the snow?
Or on a wintry evening when you catch the fire's glow. If ever I would leave you,
If ever I would leave you,
would be in springtime.
how could it be in springtime? Springtime, bewitched by you so.
Oh, no, not in springtime, summer, winter, or fall. No, never could I leave you at all.
Golda, I have decided to give Perchik permission to become engaged with our daughter Hutton.
You what? He's poor. He has nothing. He
He's
has
a good
absolutely nothing.
He's a good man, Golda.
Right.
I like him. What's more important, Huddle likes him. Huddle loves him. So what can we do? It's a new world. A new world. Love. Golda,
Yeah.
do you love me?
Do I what?
Do you love me?
Do I love you? With our daughters getting married and there's trouble in the town, you're upset, you're worn out, go inside, go lie down. Maybe it's indigestion.
Golda, I'm asking you a question. Do you love me?
You're a fool.
I know. But do you love me?
Do I love you? For 25 years I've washed your clothes, cooked your meals, cleaned your house, given you children, milked the cow. After 25 years, why talk about love right now?
Golda, the first time I met you was on our wedding day. I was scared.
I was sure.
I was nervous.
So was I.
But my father and my mother said we'd learn to love each other. And now I'm asking, Golda, do you love me?
I'm your wife.
I know. But do you love me?
Do I love him? For 25 years I've lived with him, fought with him, starved with him. 25 years my bed is his. If that's not love, what is?
Then you love me.
I suppose I do.
And I suppose I love you too. It doesn't change a thing, but even so, after 25 years, it's nice to know.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Phew, it's hot. You could have seen Zero Mostel and Maria Karnalova sing that in 1964 on Broadway for about $7. I have a very personal relationship with the show I thought I'd share with you. Early in my career, I was called to audition for a Broadway revival of Fiddler by Harold Prince. And when they offered me the role, of course, I took it. Much to the chagrin of my Metropolitan Opera star voice teacher, Madame Licia Albanese. She was known for her Madame Butterfly. Do you happen to remember Jerome Robbins' famous choreography for Tradition? Had everyone lifting up their right arms?
Tradition!
Correct. Well, I couldn't do that. You see, when I was 4 years old, I had contracted polio, and it left me with somewhat limited mobility in my right arm to this day. But believe me, I was one of the very, very lucky ones. and they weren't about to change Jerome Robbins' choreography for me. So I sang my heart out from the wings, as close as I could get to the stage. And for many years, I hoped no one would notice. But no longer. Because I decided that physical challenge, that's what really gave me the drive to persevere and conquer, like raising my family, running a business, and singing in cabarets all over the world. You have to celebrate who you are and never look backwards and never take no for an answer. Because if you look backwards, how can you look forward? If they could see me now, that little gang of mine, I'm eating fancy chow and drinking fancy wine. I want those tumble bums to see for a fact the kind of top drawer first-rate chums I attract. All I can say is, wow, look for where I am. Tonight I landed, right in a pot of jam.
What a setup, holy cow.
They'd never believe it if my friends could see me now.
Oh, but success didn't spoil you, did it, Sharon?
Spoil me, Frank. Just watch me work. Your hand, sir. Woo. Woo. Hi. Oh, you don't know what trouble you're in. You can sit down.
But I like trouble.
Oh, good. Well, then tell me your name.
My name is Neil.
Neil, do you mind if I ask and you would share with this wonderful audience how old you are?
I am 70 years old.
Oh, a 70-sexy-year-old. Woo! I knew there was a lot of money in this room tonight. I knew there was a lot of money in this room tonight when Donald Trump parked my car. But now I have to tweet him to get it back.
Oh no, she's not spoiled.
But I'm hot. Woo. Whatever Lola wants, Lola gets. And little man, little Lola wants you. Make up your mind to have no regrets. Woo! Recline yourself, resign yourself. You're through. Is that your phone in your pocket, mister? Or are you just happy to see me? I always get what I aim for, and your heart and soul is what I came for. Do you know what the difference is between ooh and ah? About 3 inches. Whatever Lola wants, Lola gets. Ooh, no use to fight. Don't you know you can't win? You're no exception. I'm back to the rule. I'm irresistible. You fool. Bye-bye. Give in. Woo. Give in. Let's hear a lady pause. Give in.
Give in. You know, being an actor can sometimes be an unforgiving task. And when I feel like giving in or giving up, I can just hear my friends telling me,
You'll be swell. You'll be great. Gonna have the whole world on a plate. Starting here, starting now. Honey, everything's coming up roses.
Clear the decks, clear the tracks. You got nothing to do but relax. Blow a kiss, take a bow. Honey, everything's coming up roses.
now's my inning. Stand the world on its here, set it spinning. That'll be just the beginning.
Curtain up, light the lights.
I've got nothing to hit but the heights.
You'll be swell.
You'll be great. I can tell. Just you wait.
That lucky star I talk about is due.
Honey, everything's coming up. Roses for me and for you.
You know, I believe on this journey, it takes more than a lucky star coming due. Luck comes to those who earn it. And these gentlemen sharing the stage with me tonight, they're definitely earning it. Let's hear it for Frank and Zach.
On drums, Andy Pastorino.
And on piano, our music director, Bill Magaliff. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Sharon Ruben.
Thank you. Would you like to know how the show came about?
Sure.
So you do, right? Okay. Well, as life would have it, when my husband and I, we sold our business, and an agent approached me about doing something new and different. Two Guys and a Doll popped into my head. An epiphany. The agent loved it. My son-in-law, Dominic, loved it. And I shared it with Bill, and our mini musical was born.
That's right. Hello.
Woo!
Wow, they really are nice.
I know you were
I
waiting
know
for that,
nice.
Bill. I know, come on.
So, this musical, that's right. We went through every single piece of music that Sharon had sung since she... Yeah, you're right. You want to say that a little louder?
It's on camera, by the way.
That's right. Every single piece of music that Sharon had sung since she was 5 years
Don't go too far up, please. Songs people will always want to hear.
And more than 50 of them into this show. Can you believe it? 50 songs.
Okay, Bill. And then we searched high and low for the right guys to join us.
That's right. And to all of our good fortune, we found Zach and Frank.
It has been a fabulous journey, and we're really so glad to be able to share it.
That's
and
right.
create these musical memories with you.
That's right. But, finding the time to take on this project was really a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, we all do so many things in our lives that pull us in different directions.
Married.
Children.
Paying the rent.
Or mortgage.
Running a successful business with my husband.
Voice teacher.
Acting coach.
And it gets crazy.
And sometimes you can feel like life is passing you by.
And you just have to grab hold of it before it's gone.
There's gotta be something better than this. There's gotta be something better to do. And when I find me something better to do, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna get up, get out and do it. It had been years. I mean, a big number of years since I had auditioned for anything in the Broadway musical theater. And a few years ago, I found myself in a narrow corridor with a bunch of 20-somethings auditioning for a group of Broadway agents. And these kids, they were so nervous and pacing. And a girl, she comes over to me and she says, "How do you look so calm?" I told her that's just how I look when I'm having a hot flash. And then she did say the cutest thing. "What's a hot flash?" I told her it was the name of a new Nissan. Well, finally, it was my turn, and I went in, and the Broadway agents were seated at a long, narrow table, and I sang, and it was quiet for a minute. But then someone young stood up and said, "Welcome back
to the business, Sharon."
Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna go and taste Saturday's high life.
Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna get some life back into my life.
I'm ready to move out out in front. I've had enough of just passing by life with the rest of them.
With the best of them, I can hold my head up high. For I've got a goal again, I've got to drive again.
I want to feel my heart coming alive again before the parade passes by.
1964 said hello to Carol Channing as Dolly.
Get it?
Thank you, Frank. Zero Mostel as Tevye, and a young Barbara Streisand as Fanny Bryce. I'd say that's a
Right.
pretty good year.
I'd say so.
Absolutely was. What inspirational and optimistic characters they were. But as we all know, things don't always work out. Betty Compton, Adolph Green, and Julie Stein said it beautifully in Bells Are Ringing. The party's over. It's time to call it a day. You've burst your pretty balloon and taken the moon away.
It's time to wind up the masquerade.
Just make your mind up. The piper must be paid. The party's over.
Party's over.
The candles flicker and dim.
Flicker and dim.
You've danced and dreamed through the night. It seemed to be right, just being with him. Now you must wake up. All dreams must end.
Take off your makeup.
The party's over. It's all over, my friend.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
We're two guys and a doll, and we call this next song our signature song since it's from Frank Lesser's Guys and Dolls. I always loved the song. I always wanted to sing it, and I had to create this show just for the opportunity. Luck, be a lady tonight.
Be a lady tonight.
Luck, be a lady tonight.
Be a lady tonight.
Luck, if you've ever been a lady to begin with, luck, be a lady tonight.
Be a lady tonight.
Luck, let a gentleman see.
Luck, let a gentleman see.
How nice a dame you can be.
How nice a dame you can be.
I know the way you treated other guys you've been with. Luck, be a lady with me. I know the way you treated other guys you've been with. Luck, be a lady.
Luck, be a lady.
Luck, be a lady.
Luck, be a lady. Luck, be a lady tonight.
Broadway, it was always a land for hopers and dreamers.
We escape into another reality.
The heightened
True.
emotional experience.
Live on stage.
8 times a week.
And for this, you pay through the nose. Why? Because it's magic. But you feel so good when you're there. You know the first thing a New York tourist does is check out a Broadway show, a musical. You know those discount ticket lines? You gotta do it. Anyone know the hottest tickets in town right now? Hamilton, Come From Away, Dear Evan Hansen, Book of Mormon. Right.
Two guys in town.
Thank you. Right. It's most every actor's dream is to play Broadway. Right. Just look at the Parade of Stars in recent years.
Al Pacino.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Glenn Close.
Bradley Cooper.
Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
Oh, and Bette Midler, who recently starred in Hello, Dolly at the Shubert Theater, where Chorus Line had once set the record for the longest-running Broadway show.
15 years and 6,137 performances.
And the current record holder? Correct, Phantom of the Opera. Right. Would you believe it's more than 12,000 performances in over 30-plus haunting years?
Yet the longest-running show in all of American theater never even played on Broadway.
Can you guess? That's right. We got a real theater crowd here.
Sure.
Which ran continuously at the 150-seat Sullivan Street Playhouse in Greenwich Village from 1960 to 2002, 42 years, opening every night with this song. Try to remember the kind of September when life was slow and oh so mellow. Try to remember the kind of September when grass was green and grain was yellow. Try to remember the kind of September when you were a tender and callow fellow. Try to remember, and if you remember, then follow.
Follow, 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 follow,
Follow. So,
Was it Jerry Orbach?
Yeah, yes, it was
Right?
Jerry Orbach who did
He
that.
played it in the original show, wasn't he? He was really wonderful. A true song and dance man.
Try to Remember is the perfect segue to the final stop on our journey, which we call the Golden Years. Songs of timeless wisdom.
Right. Oscar Hammerstein wrote this wise and brutally honest lyric in 1949 South Pacific, and it remains oh so relevant today.
You've got to be taught to hate and fear. You've got to be taught from year to year. It's got to be drummed in your dear little ear. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be taught to be afraid of people whose eyes are oddly made and people whose skin is a different shade. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be taught before it's too late, before you are 6 or 7 or 8. To hate all the people your relatives hate. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be carefully taught.
Beautiful.
I am what I am. I am my own special creation. So come take a look. Give me the hook or the ovation. It's my world that I want to take a little pride in. My world, and it's not a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can say, hey world, I am what I am.
Kiss today goodbye. The sweetness and the sorrow. Wish me luck the same to you. But I won't regret what I did for love, what I did for love.
Look, my eyes are dry. The gift was ours to borrow. It's as if we always knew. But I won't forget what I did for love, what I did for love.
Gone, love is never gone. As we travel on, love's what we'll remember.
Kiss today goodbye and point me toward tomorrow. We did what we had to do. Won't forget, can't regret what I did for love. What I did for love. What I did for love. A few years back, Andrea Martin starred in a Broadway revival of Pippin. The stage, it was set as a circus tent. And in a perfect Broadway moment at the tender young age of 66, she performed on a trapeze while singing these words. I believe if I refuse to grow old, I can stay young till I die. I was wowed. I loved that message. And it is that message we're going to leave you with tonight.
Oh, it's time to start living. Time to take a little from this world we're given. Time to take time, for spring will turn to fall in just no time at all. Oh, it's time to start living. Time to take a little from this world we're given. Time to take time, for spring will turn to fall in just no time at all.
Here is a secret I never have told. Maybe you'll understand why. I believe if I refuse to grow old, I can stay young till I die. Now, I've known the fears of so many years. I've had troubles and tears by the score. But the only thing I trade them for is twice as many more.
Oh, it's time to start living. Time to take a little from this world we're given. Time to take time, for spring will turn to fall in just no time at all.
Well, thank you so much for coming out here to be with us tonight, and we hope you've had some fun.
Thanks for coming along with us on Broadway's journey through life.
And as Bette Midler once said,
Yesterday is history.
Tomorrow is a mystery.
and today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. Everybody!
Oh, it's time to start living. Time to take a little from this world we're given. Time to take time, for spring will turn to fall. Big finish now. In just no time at all.
Thank you. I'd like to thank this beautiful gem of a theater in New York City, everybody associated with it. Thank you so much. And a special thanks to a great friend, Jane Goldman, who's been there with me and my guys. Thank you so much, Jane. And to Zach Miller. Let's hear it. And Mr. Frank Moran. Andy Pastorino on drums. Woo! And the very infamous Bill Magalith. And now I have to thank you guys, for being here and being part of our journey. Thank you so much.
You gotta have heart. All you really need is heart. When the odds are saying you'll never win, that's when the grin should start. You gotta have hope. Mustn't sit around at home. Nothing's half as bad as it may appear. Wait till next year and hope. When your luck is batting zero, get your chin up off the floor. Mister, you can be a hero. You can open any door.
There's nothing to it but to do it.
You gotta have heart. Miles and miles and miles of heart. Oh, it's nice to be a genius, of course, but keep that old horse before the cart. First you gotta have heart. You gotta have heart. First you gotta have heart.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming. Thank you. Thank you. You can hold on to an Antonella. Bye-bye. Thank you.